Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and welcome back to Casual SpinoDino. It's been a while, guys, but we're just going to do a very quick video so I can share my thoughts on the first wave of releases for CollectA's 2020 Prehistoric collection. I'm a little bit late to the party on this one. This came out a couple days ago, I think. But anyway, let's jump into the first figure we have here, which is the brand new popular size, as they call it, or it's the smaller range, Baryonyx. This is the same, pretty much the same design as the Baryonyx, the deluxe one we got this year for 2019. And, I mean, I guess it's cool to have the Baryonyx in another size. I mean, okay, but it just feels so soon after getting the other one, and if I'm being honest, I like this one better because it doesn't have the really awkward looking jaw when you shut the jaw. In my opinion, it just looked really weird, and the paint on the deluxe one, I'm just not a fan of at all, the paint application. So I think because this Baryonyx is smaller, I can be more forgiving of the paint application, and because it doesn't have an articulated jaw, I can be more forgiving of the head. The head still looks weird to me, and the tail looks weird on this one to me. It looks really long, and I don't know, the bends in it and the shape, the posing of it looks a little weird. But anyway, that's the Baryonyx. If I was going to get one of the two new CollectA Baryonyx, I'd definitely get this one, but this one is not on a priority list for me at the moment. But coming in next, we have the 1/6 scale deluxe Microraptor from CollectA. Now, when I first saw this one, I love Microraptor, first of all, and I was actually really hoping this would have been a 1/1 scale, because Microraptor's a pretty small dinosaur, but it's not. It's a 1/6 scale, which is fair enough. But when I first saw it, I was kind of like, I'm not a big fan of that, and then I sat with it more, and I was like, okay, this thing's actually really cool. And now I've kind of settled back into that sort of feeling about it, if I'm being honest. Now, there are some really cool things about this figure that I like, and there's some things that I don't like as much, and some of those fall into the more subjective category, I guess. Now, first of all, we'll start with the things I really like about it. The pose is awesome. I think the pose is really unique, having a sort of territorial looking Microraptor. Like, I think for being super dynamic and just unique, I think the pose is awesome. Now, another thing that's really cool is that this thing is going to have iridescent paint, from what I remember, which a lot of Microraptor figures out now actually do not have. And we do know that Microraptor had iridescence in its black feathering, which is awesome. So I'm really excited to see how that looks in hand. Now into actually, those are like the two big things that I'm really excited to see in hand, or I want to see more angles of the pose, etc. Now onto the things that I don't like as much about it. Now, first of all, this is a thing I'm not sure on, because I did some very brief research on this Microraptor when I was talking with my friends about it, and from what I heard last, like, I haven't actually studied Microraptor since the whole color pigmentation thing with the melanosomes and the feathers and everything. But from what I remember hearing is that Microraptor had two long feathers coming out of the fan on its tail. I did look at some fossil specimens briefly, and I didn't see... There was one that I saw two feathers coming out of the tail, but the other ones I saw did not have those present. So I need to look into that more, so I can't hold it against the figure right now. Just from what I remember hearing is that Microraptor had two long feathers coming out of the fan on its tail. And that is not present on this figure. It does have the base tail fan that is in the fossils, though. Another thing that I don't like the more I'm looking at it are the matted down feathers. The feathers feel kind of dirty, and this is one thing that Baryonyx actually brought to my attention. The feathers look dirty and kind of unpreened, not clean, and not very fluffy. They look matted down and like covered in mud or dirt or something. Just by the basic like flow of the feathers, they kind of look crusty in some areas, just judging by this picture. And I guess that could be sold as being naturalistic, because, you know, not all animals are going to be pristine 24/7, but just judging by the image we have right now, I personally would have liked a different feathering detail. And while we're on the topic of feathering, I definitely would have liked it to have a more barrel-like, more songbird-like chest, I guess. Like, you know, more puffed out and more bird-like around the chest area. I feel like it's very matted down, and I think the wings and the tail fan look great, but when it comes to the body and the feathering on the head and everything, it just feels a little bit lackluster, I guess, for lack of a better word. But anyway, we've been talking about the Microraptor for too long. This one, I'm not going to have a cemented opinion on right now. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, and I might get it, might not. I'm going to wait to see more pictures of it down the road, because even though this is a good image of it, I want to see more angles and more close-ups, etc. Now, moving on to the next one, we have the deluxe 1/6 scale Protoceratops with a movable jaw. This is awesome, having a ceratopsian figure with a movable jaw. That's pretty dang unique. I have to be honest, not a huge fan of the coloration. I think they sell naturalism really, really well on this figure, but they just feel very simple and kind of uninspired, I guess. So I am planning on getting this one. I will probably do a repaint on it, or maybe get two and have one original and have one that I can repaint, because I just finished a drawing of Protoceratops very recently, actually. And if you want to see my drawings, you can actually follow me on Instagram at SpinoDude Designs, if you'd like to. Anyway, so this one is, I believe, in scale with their old Velociraptor figure. So it makes me wonder if we're going to have a new 1/6 scale Velociraptor figure revealed in the coming weeks from CollectA for their 2020 range, because that would be really cool to have the Protoceratops, a new Protoceratops in 1/6 scale, then have a new Velociraptor in 1/6 scale. I think that would be awesome. The details look great on it. The mouth looks a little funky to me from this angle because of the articulated jaw, but you know, because the jaw is movable, I think I can be forgiving of it, and I do praise CollectA for attempting to do that on a Ceratopsian. I think that's going to be really cool to see how it pans out in person. But anyway, moving on to the last one, and certainly not least, at least for me, this one is my favorite out of the group so far. This is the new Fukisaurus, a 1/40th scale Fukisaurus from CollectA. Now, 1/40th scale deluxe makes it seem like, you know, this is going to be a fairly large figure, but it's actually going to be on the smaller side in scale with the Fukuiraptor that CollectA released this year for 2019. Apparently, the Fukuiraptor was really popular for CollectA's Japanese fan base, so they wanted to give something to display with it, and in this case, the Fukisaurus, which Fukuiraptor would have most likely preyed upon back in its day and age, so that's awesome. And guys, this thing is so cute. I love it. I love its head. Its head has such a cool shape. It looks so cute in the face. The pose is cool. The coloration, you could argue, is simple, but I think it's awesome, and it looks yummy to me. It looks like a cookie and milk. Like, you know, like a chocolate chip cookie and milk. I'm actually planning on getting this figure, and I want to name him Cookie. I think that would be really kind of cool. But anyway, the Fukisaurus, I absolutely love it, and it is going to be in scale with the Fukuiraptor. So if you like the Fukuiraptor and you have that one, I'm not the biggest fan of the Fukuiaptor, if I'm being honest, but if you have that one and you like it, then you can get the Fukisaurus to go along with it, which is awesome. But anyway, guys, those are the first 4 releases for CollectA's 2020 Prehistoric collection. Let me know which one of these is your favorite, which one you're most excited to see in hand, and which ones you plan on getting so far. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see you in my next video. So take care, and bye-bye.